Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Alumni series on Business Intelligence and Management, hosted by Department of Information Technology, Dr.M.G.R. Educational and Research Institute, and associated with Association of Information Technovenza. Now, I would like to call our department head, Dr.N.Kanya ma'am, and additional dean to give the welcome address, ma'am.
Thank you, Nithya. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the department and on behalf of our university to this alumni lecture series 2 on business data management. Right? We appreciate and congratulate all the participants who have taken a step forward to attend this program, and I welcome all the participants who have taken initiation to attend this program. We'd like to express our profound gratitude to our respected founder chancellor, Dr. A.C. Shanmugam sir, and our president engineer A.C.S. Arun Kumar sir, for giving us an opportunity to organize these kind of events in a successful way, and always inspiring us to do more and more events in this way. I'm happy to welcome our dynamic joint registrar, Dr. V. Cyril Raj sir, who always motivates us and encourages us to reach the next level. Happy to welcome you, sir. Next, I am happy to welcome our vibrant speaker, Ms. Lakshmi, Mrs. Lakshmi, who is our alumni from 2011 batch. We are always proud of our alumni. She's now working as a consultant in Vichisa in Chennai. Welcome you, Lakshmi. Happy to have you here in this forum. We received a great response from this for this event from students and outsiders also. We are streaming this event through our department YouTube channel. I take this opportunity to thank the coordinators, Ms. Nithya and Mr.A.Kameshwaran, who make this, who have given their full effort to make this event a great success. I take this opportunity to thank all the faculty members of the Department of Information Technology who always be a pillar of support for me to conduct these kind of events. Once again, I welcome you all. Stay tuned to learn. Thank you. Nithya, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to call our Institute Joint Registrar, Dr. V. Cyril Raj sir, Dean ENT, to deliver the felicitation speech.
Good morning, dear participants, as well as my faculty colleagues. First of all, I would like to welcome as well as thank our one of the intelligent alumni of that particular batch, Ms. Lakshmi, for readily accepting our invitation to share her knowledge on the current topic, the business analytics and intelligence. Dear students, first of all, we have to be very thankful to our founder chancellor as well as to our beloved president sir for providing such a stage for all of us to learn. Yeah, I use the word all of us. That means not only students alone, even the faculty members. That's why actually, if you see the organization structure of our university, we made alumni participation in the curriculum definition. So when any curriculum has to be redefined, so there should be a contribution from alumni. So we are constantly getting feedbacks from our alumni like Ms. Lakshmi Sindilvelan, and then we try to change our curriculum periodically so that our students should learn some of the, not only our students, the faculty members also should learn the latest developments and then the latest requirements, practices of the industry. So today's topic, the business intelligence and then analytics. Normally, if you do not know, if you do not have a deep dive on this, the data analysis, clear, we cannot, find out the difference between why these two terms, business intelligence and then the business analytics, being frequently used. Sometimes not clear. Um, uh, I mean, freely we change the words also. Business intelligence and then business analytics, like that. Normally we use, but actually there are subtle difference between this business intelligence and then business analytics. Very recently, that is after the implementation of uh, intelligence, clear. Uh, the two from I think some of the students may be knowing about the data mining tools. So if you have not learned, probably it's the right time. You should learn the subject of data mining, where we used to mine valuable informations from the hidden data. Yeah, I think dear students, you should know the structure of a data center system. Here, it is always like a pyramid. Here, in the bottom line is filled only with the raw data. Uh, Clear. So, if you take a supermarket, thousands of bills are generated every day. Thousands of bills are brought in from various uh, vendors uh, every day. But unless those data are properly analyzed, yeah, then only we can get fundamental basic information like what is a turnover, what is a uh, uh, stock position, which product is being preferred by the customers, and then what is the duration of those preference, and then what is the time of the preference. So like that, no clear. Lot of information has to be digged out, but these are not generically, visibly available there in the raw data. So unless we dig those data, that's why actually we call that as a data mining. So we'll be learning the data mining subjects shortly. Uh, Over and above the data mining, we have got this business intelligence and then the business analytics. Uh, just with a simple differentiation, uh, we have a data here. The history of data is available with us. So with the history of data available with us, clear. If you could able to plan for the current period, clear. So then we call that as a business intelligence. Normally, that's why actually most of the organizations in nuclear, they strongly depend on the historical data. So the historical data, in the sense, I can quote a simple example. Yeah. So whenever festivity is there, either it is Deepavali or Christmas or Ramjan or whatever it is, nuclear. So it shows that the stock book shows that nuclear heavy purchase by common man. Clear. So it's a historic data. Yeah. So based on that nuclear, now we can see how we have to plan for this particular festivity. So this is business intelligence. But rather, suppose nuclear, uh, uh, right now a new uh, sort of this sort of the pandemic, all these things nuclear, where we do not have much data, but rather nuclear similar kind of data were available. So in that particular case, nuclear, what will happen in the future? Clear. So that few, to plan for the future, nuclear normally, uh, people do a lot of the business analytics. So really speaking, nuclear, there are a lot of demand for these people. So the organization uses different words, different positions to call these roles. So some organizations say that data scientist, data analyst, and then data managers, business intelligence analysts, like that. Nuclear. So there are, but there is a general prediction that the requirement of business analytics, clear, business intelligence, or data scientists, so all these things nuclear is going to increase by 40 percentage. And then there is another prediction also that average salary of I won't say a fresher, but rather a person who got at least 1 or 2 years of experience clear, they could able to get around 7 lakhs of average salary if they get into this business analytics profession. Dear students, without taking time off our very intelligent alumni, uh, uh, let me give some tools. There are a lot of tools available there for business analytics. Even if you take Microsoft, they have got then Oracle, they have got Oracle BI is there, and then IBM has got Cosmos also. So like that, okay, every organizations they uses, and then SAP also has got business. SAP has also got business intelligence tools. So I'm not asking you to go through all the the tools, but rather you try to identify one such tool and then uh, have a deep dive on any one of this particular tool, so that okay, your opportunity will be better when comparing to your peers here. So if your resume says that okay, yeah, yes, I have a basic understanding or working experience on any of this BI tools, okay, so you will be preferred by that organization. So with this, once again, let me thank the speaker of the day, Ms. Lakshmi, for accepting our invite. And then I have to thank Dr.N.Kanya and then her team for arranging such a very, very important topic for the discussion of this day. Thanks a lot for providing such a wonderful opportunity to talk to you. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for your presence. Now, Nithya.
Thank you, sir. Now let me introduce our chief guest. Dear students and colleagues. It is my privilege to introduce our chief guest, Ms. Lakshmi Sendilvelan, who is also a prominent alumni of batch 2007 to 2011 for our institute. We strongly believe, and we didn't have an iota of doubt, that the span of experience she has in across the domain would definitely help us to stimulate our appetite for known, have and various spheres. Here, I would like to shed the light on some of her accomplishments and the courses of her acclaimed career. She has been the consultant for 6 years in Virtusa Consultancy Services, besides having been worked in various on-site projects in USA and back home in India as well. Spearhead the team of professionals and to complete the offshore project to meet the deadline without any deviation was another feather on her cap, ma'am. Backed with the sound knowledge in ETL and data mining, she has served as business development professional for various firms. Moreover, she has obtained her master's degree on engineering and management from Oklahoma Christian University in United States. Here are the domain in which she has had her strong footprint and going to deliver the lecture for us. With this, I would like to invite our chief guest, Ms. Lakshmi Sendilvelan, to deliver her speech and share her insight. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you for the great introduction. Hi, I'm Lakshmi Sendilvelan, who graduated from this very college in the year of 2011 and moved to USA to pursue my master's in engineering and management. I graduated from Oklahoma Christian University in the year 2013 and then worked in USA for about 4 years and then relocated to India in 2016 and then continued my career back here. So it's my great pleasure to be here to give a guest lecture on business intelligence and management. And first of all, I would like to say a few words about the college. It's a place where you initiate to shape yourself to face the outside world filled with challenges. So the college has given me the platform to enrich myself with leadership skills, punctuality, etc. So if you ask me how, I could cite some of the incidences like, there were a lot of tech fest happening along with MATLAB certification courses from Cisco, Oracle, and, so on. So if we get a chance, why not indulge ourselves in all of those to enrich our technical skills as well as leadership skills. So and then I have also served as a joint secretary in IET, which was again an opportunity for me to build my innovative thinking, and that helped me actually improve my leadership skills. Host events, conduct meetings, and then I would say go on with what do you say? I could say that give on some good, you also get some good contacts, basically. So I would suggest, if given the opportunity, give it a try without hesitation, because this is the time for you to, fail, wake up, and learn, and then get back up. So I'm sure you will learn something from the experience, good or bad, both ways. Apart from all, there were some industrial visits arranged for us with real-time industrial scenarios, whereas and then we had some, what do you say? I could say some fun trips in college. And obviously, and then last but not the least, the faculties are great. They help you throughout the journey, and it's a fun. It's fun. So to be with them. So now, I guess that's enough of me speaking about our college. Maybe let's get on to the actual stuff. That will be my presentation on the business intelligence and management. So I hope every one of you can view my screen. So yeah, as they have mentioned that I've completed my master's.
Let me sorry for the interruption. Can you present
Yeah.
it? You can go to presentation mode.
Okay, I am already presenting. Uh, Let me know if you can see my screen now.
Okay.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. Just can present F5. Yeah, it's clear now.
Okay. 1 minute.
Can you once again press F5?
Let's see. Okay. So, okay. So, what exactly is business intelligence and management? It's a combination of analytics, data visualization, data mining, and data integration and reporting. Okay. So, what is business intelligence? Just like how our Cyril Raj sir said, it is actually about learning the historical data, that is analyzing the historical data and actually creating reports based on it that can be used for some data driven decisions for the business. Okay, so this without business intelligence or business analytics, a business cannot thrive in the upcoming world. So for example, let's take a scenario over here. Let's say that you go to a shop, you kind of you purchase a mobile phone, let's say. There are various mobile phones by the same company, right? Whether you say take it as Nokia, Samsung, or whatever. And but you go for one particular phone. Why do you go for one particular phone? Either it could be your, it could be the features that they provide. It could be the best camera over there, or it could be a customer. And why do you go to that particular store to buy a phone? So I could say that it could be a better customer satisfaction and a lot more things, And every time you go to a store, they take in your information. What do they do with your information? So they actually store it in the back end. And what happens is it gets stored in a in a data warehouse, basically, with all your, what sort of phone that you have purchased, how often do you visit the store? Phone, yeah, we don't actually often go into, but any retail industry, for example, let's take some, what do you say, maybe Surf Excel, RIN, something like that. It's a simple, a more simple example. So in case you go to a store and you purchase something, no, why do you go for this particular brand compared to the other one? And you often visit the store, correct? So when all these data get stored in the back end, that data is actually used for some analysis. So what happens is from a particular store, if you purchase a lot of like you, there will be millions of people purchasing the same product. So what happens is when the company actually looks for how many products are being purchased accordingly, and if so, why is this more comparatively than the other products? Is it because it's placed in the front of this kiosk, or is it because that particular, call it in US, we have Walmarts, or Targets, and so on. So we also analyze, okay, from Walmart, there's what do you say? The purchases of this product from Walmart is higher than from Target. So over here, so that's how it goes. All the top brands or top this thing, they have all these data collected, okay, including Google, Facebook, whatever, anything. Data is very essential and very expensive. So that is really important. So everything that is being taken in the behind screen is actually analyzed in such a way that, okay, customer satisfied with this product. Something has to be improved a little more on the other products to catch the eye of the customers. So how do you do that? That is basically analyzing the data, and then you give them a report saying that, okay, so and so brand or so and so product goes better because of so and so reason. And that is how, when you provide it in a graphical representation, when you can't just provide a raw data, right? So all you have to do is first store it into a database, and then you query or mining. Mining is different. Mining is just that you actually extract the data, and you make some transformations, and you actually, the data quality could be improved. In one place, you would have given your name as for example, let's take my name. I would have given it as Lakshmi. In next time I visit the store, I could have given it as Lakshmi Sankaldev. So, but it's the same person, right? So those are the things. The data quality improves, and you try to actually data management is basically like how you find what do you say? These two names are the same person. So they could do it with a phone number, they could do it with an address, they could do it with various number of data. So these all are selected. Okay, so this and then what we do is we actually, for customer satisfaction reasons, we kind of enrich the business based on the reports that we create. Okay, this is an overall picture of business intelligence as an example, as a real-time example. But if you see, as I said, the business intelligence is a combination of analytics, data visualization, data mining, data integration, and so on. And then let's just go. So business analytics is actually to nothing but to analyze the business based on the historical data to find some trends, patterns, and some root causes if there's any defect or any issues. Why do we give it? Why do people ask from the business? People ask for feedbacks, and when you don't, excuse me, and when you don't give a proper feedback, what happens? It gets stored behind. That way, a number of customers could give the same feedback, or they could give a negative or a positive feedback. So what happens? So those are taken into by the system, and then there's a separate procedure where or process that we built using all these tools, and then we get to actually figure out what exactly is the cause. And if something is highlighted particularly, they try to actually work it out in such a way that the cause is eliminated. The root cause is actually eliminated. So this is what happens. What is data visualization? It is basically you are representing some data information into a visual context, into a graph or any module sort of thing that's easily understandable, and you don't have to go over pages and pages of data. Okay. Data mining is basically a process of extracting and extracting from different sources. It could be files, it could be web pages, information like what Facebook, or every page that you select or every click that you do is actually stored in the back end. So all this goes into a data, and that comes in the form of files, data sets, and it forms a large amount of data, right? That's why big data and stuff like that have come into picture. Now, data integration. Data integration is actually consolidating all these from different sources and bringing it to a single data format that could be unloading it to a database. So that's exactly it. And why is it actually important? Why BI is important? Okay, one is it boosts the productivity, and you can always get better information out of the data, and you can make some competent decision making is happening based on the data that is being provided, which is very essential for businesses on the top ends, because it's not easy to, you don't go door to door and find get information. So all this has to be stored somewhere, right? For the past 10 years, what has been the trend? Nobody can answer that. A human brain doesn't take that much information. So it's all stored somewhere. That way we make some graphs and stuff, so it's easily understandable. And then and then it also gives you, it brings you closer to your established goals. For example, for us, a goal is to get a job, like whoever is a college student. But when you visualize from a business perspective, they would like to go, make every business. I see that, they would like to stand number one in their, domain. And if you ask me, that is every business person's, obviously there's a lot of top management involved, but I guess every business person's goal is to attain that. And then ROI is nothing but return of investment. You invest in a business, so you obviously expect some investment. Return of investment, right? So you need some profits. Why else would you do a business? So if you need profits, what do? You actually keep proving yourself that you're better than the other competitors. And how do you do that? That is understanding for the business, understanding your customers, understanding the products and everything, and all together you put forward, and a simple module. I wouldn't say a simple module, more like a solution to it. Okay, so actually can't be called simple because there are some complex modules involved as well. So that's why BI is important. And then advantages of BI. That is, one is you get a faster analysis and planning. Not everybody or every day you can go over billions of records of data, right? For example, let's take a telecommunication industry. You make what, in each person makes up to at least 20, he receives or he makes calls at least 20 per day, let's say. And how much data do you use? How many web pages do you go into on a daily basis? All this has to be stored, and you cannot, a business person or a business analyst cannot go over every day. He cannot go over the pages and pages of a customer or something, right? So you need to have them in a systematic, stored manner, and that involves, that helps you in faster analysis and planning because it's all stored in one place. It's easier to acquire and do it. So, and then, I guess that covers the second point as well. So, and then why is it, main advantage is to make data-driven decisions. So, data-driven decisions are really costly because at the top management, you make one mistake and the business goes, it could just crumble into nothing. So, you need to really, analyze stuff to go into it. And then obviously, the last but not the least, you improve your customer satisfaction, which is very essential for business. So those are the 4 advantages that I can recall. And then let's see what are the BI tools in the market. One would be, these are just some of the tools. There are many. Okay, so Power BI, MicroStrategy, SAP, Business Objects, ClickView, Zoho Analytics, IBM Cognos. All these are BI tools that are in the market. Okay. And this architecture, for example, let's, the architecture of, what do you say? Yeah, this is the architecture how data gets stored. Okay. So, for example, you are getting, what do you say, data from, it could be from whatever, external data. That is, external data is nothing but, for example, just like how you go into a store, you give your information, it's all stored there in some way, it gets into the company, but through, file or stuff. And then operational data. Operational data is nothing but whichever current data, whichever is being operational is called operational data. And ETL tools are used to reconcile data, that is transform them. And then it is actually pushed into the data warehouse, okay? And then from the data warehouse, subject-wise, it's all split. For example, one particular company can handle different brands or different stuff. Like, for example, a telecommunication can have multiple brands for them, and each brand could call data mart. And then comes from the data mart, based on that particular business area or staging area, the reporting tools are used to get the final reports from which the from which the data or the data-driven decisions are taken. This is the 3-tier architecture that we speak about, okay? And there are some, there are also some of the open source ETL tools, and you could go over, I guess, Talent, Pentaho, if I'm right. I may not have put that into a slide, but yeah, those ETL tools are actually open source. So you can look for some ETL tools, I would say BI tools, which you have a lot of learning platform in the internet. Internet has become now, something like really, you cannot go without internet. That's how it has become. So you use all that, and you can learn a lot of stuff. So on the BIs, there's a lot of open source ETL tools, BI tools. Which why don't you guys give it a try in one or two, and that could also help your profile in a great way. Data warehousing. Data warehousing is actually, it is mainly meant to manage the data from where it sources, from different places. For example, you let's say that you go buy a car and it's Tata. It's across the board, right? Across the states, cities, and so you get the data from, all around the world is actually spooled into a data warehousing. Okay, that could be that is like it could be just a form from Chennai alone, or it could go outer. It depends. Okay, so how big the data warehouse could be is mainly the historical data that it actually holds. That's mainly it. And we can see that there are three types of data warehousing. One is enterprise data warehousing, the other one is operational data store, and the other one is data marts. Okay, so enterprise data warehousing. What exactly is an enterprise data warehouse? It holds your entire historical data. Mostly, at least it goes. It's dated back almost 10 years behind. 10 years. That is the past 10 years. That's the minimum I would call it. And operational data store. What is an operational data store? It holds just the current year of data, okay, of customer data or any data for that matter. And what is data mart? It's a subject-wise, consolidated, what do you call it? Subject-wise consolidated data for particular product or not product, particular brands. Let's keep it that way. And yeah, this is exactly what I had, told you now. So operational data store, what it is, and it's a snapshot of the latest data from multiple transaction systems. Okay, and then data mart can also be said as a subset of a data warehouse, because it's a very small piece that is very specifically designed for that particular subject. For example, you can have sales, finance, and so on. And aliases for data warehouse. Okay, so in the business terms, it could be called analytical application, data warehouse. It could call management information systems. It could call executive information systems, business intelligence, and all these are just other words in other words that business uses for data warehousing. And then OLTP and OLAP. What is OLTP and OLAP? OLTP is more like transactional data, transactional processing. So it is basically every day, day to day, you make, you use your debit cards. So for example, your debit cards are being swiped in every shop, right? So that's a transaction. Every transaction that you make is held somewhere, right? And it holds your transaction as and when you keep, swiping your cards. Analytical processing is nothing but you hold the data into a particular format, into a data warehouse, and then that already stored data is used for some analytical purposes. So OLTP is usually not for it's not mainly used for analytical purpose. So from OLTP, you store it into an aggregated data, and from there, you actually go through analytical process. Why that happens is you need to see some trends in the business, right? That is, in the past 10 years, what has been the improvement of the business, and what sort of decisions have been taken, what has been improved, what is the customer's expectations in the last 10 years, what has changed. So all that is based on analysis. And we all get some, messages saying that we have discounts here, you have discounts there, and so on. For example, you go purchase some items, technical stuff, or I don't know, whatever, everything is data. So whatever you go and purchase, and you make a trend. That is, like, let's say for gold, you go to GRT, you purchase gold jewels, And every time you go in, you actually go, what do you do? You go, you look for the chain section. This time you buy a chain. Next time you go in, you might buy a ring or something. And you could go for stone products more, or you could go for the plain gold products. But do you think this is all just, it's just for one customer, okay? But when you go on the business side, we do a collection of data. That is, the data is collected in such a way that we are looking for patterns. Like, okay, this particular customer is actually, prone to come in every year during his anniversary date. Why do they need your anniversary date, your birthday date, and stuff like that? Why do they need it? They need to store your data in such a way that they are aware when it's going to be your anniversary. Or do you usually come the week of the anniversary, that you come in and you purchase some gold items? If that is the case, they're going to be prone to send you more discounts during that particular time, so that you could be a value added customer. And the more you purchase, you are given a different platform. Basically, you'll be called as a value added customer, and they could be you might get a lot of gift hampers or discounts, or go on, whatever. So that's one example of this. And a difference between OLAP and OLTP. As I said, OLAP consists of historical data from various databases, okay, and OLTP is operational of current data, and then OLAP is subject oriented, like I said, data marks, okay. OLTP is more like application oriented, because every transaction that you do is getting stored there, right? And then large amounts of data is stored, usually in TB, terabyte, and so on. Whereas in OLTP, the size of the data is relatively small, because you can't just hold all transactions just like that, right? And you can't keep querying it based on that. So we're not doing any data analysis for one particular customer. We're doing it as a whole for a business. So what you do is, the rest of the data is actually archived. And then the OLAP systems, as you know, since it's large amount of data, and the querying is relatively slow, and transaction processing, it is relatively fast, because it has transactions, right? So you just do a select star from and where so and so is your number, and then you get all the transactions that you've made. And data is normalized over here in OLAP, and then data is not normalized, that is, it's denormalized data in transaction processing. And let's see what is actually normalization and denormalization. Normalization is basically a consistent or a non-redundant data. Basically, if there is any, as I said, let's say that I told you my name is Lakshmi, and next time I go and I give it as Lakshmi Senthil, and it's the same person. So you could go, if you search based on my mobile number, you could find that it's the same person, or they go into a family, in the same family. There are a lot of analysis done behind the screens, okay? It's not just walking into, for us from the customer side, it's just walking into a store, purchasing what you like, you already have something in mind, go purchase and come back. But from the business side, it's not the same. So that is how they check for patterns. And non-redundant data is basically you don't keep the same data in many places. And then denormalization is like it contains redundant data, because it's more like transactional processing. So it's going to keep saying the same thing over and over again sometimes. Okay. And then normalization maintains data integrity, whereas denormalization does not maintain data integrity. And the disk space is optimized when normalization is used, whereas denormalization does not optimize the disk space, because over here data is already, it has a, it has a specific pattern that they follow, and they make sure that the memory is not very, held unnecessarily. And then use normalization also, it uses optimized memory, whereas denormalization has some sort of wastage in memory. Excuse me. Okay, this is basically ETL, okay? ETL is what? Extraction, transformation, and load. What does that mean? So basically, as I said, you go walk into a store, you get a lot of information, you give a lot of information while you buy something, and as you see, you have data sources, you have databases, it could be ERP, enterprise, and you have web events or whatever you do, you purchase online, that is also stored. So in some way or the other, it's stored and then it's moved to a staging area. So raw data is basically got from different streams of sources, and then it is placed into a staging area where you actually do sort of a data quality checks, data, a lot of things that you do. Okay, data management, and then you load it to a data warehouse. That way, it is like it's cleaned. That's what you can say. It's a clean data, and it's stored in a particular manner as it is modeled. Okay, there's data modeling also involved over here where they actually model the data warehouse in such a way that it could be used in the forthcoming years. It's not like every time you can keep changing the data warehouse, right? So you actually put it forward. You make your data modeling in such a way that it could go back. Or it could also be helpful to analyze the historical data as well as it could be used in the upcoming years, maybe for the next span of 10 years or so on. You don't have to make any changes until something imminent has happened. For example, now we have cloud and stuff like that, right? So things are changing on that end. And then BI tools comes into platform. BI comes into the picture after data warehousing, where you actually put a graphical representation and you provide it to the business stakeholders. Okay, in such a way that it's readable. So retail tools in the market, as I said, you have Talent, Informatica, Power Center, Pentaho, IBM Data Stage, AWS is a new Amazon Web Services, and Glue is one of the ETL tools that they use, and then that's provided by AWS. And Xplenty is the other one. Xplenty, Talent, Informatica, and then Pentaho. All these are ETL tools. Some of the ETL tools in the market. There could be many more. And then open source ETL tools. These are the open source ones. That is, you have some Apache Camel, Kafka, Airbyte, Logstash, Pentaho, Talent, CloverDX, Apache, Hero Data. What are these open source ETL tools? See, some of the small businesses, let's say, they also have data, right? It's not always the top, the big businesses. So you could say not only the large ones, the small ones also need to actually do some analysis on their data. For those, the open source ETL tools might work because it's cost efficient and also easier to use. Whereas compared to some of the big, big giants in businesses, they probably would go for something that is, not open source. And ETL is basically you extract data from multiple sources. As I say, you clean it, you transform them as per the business requirements, and then load it to a data warehouse. So the domains that I have particularly worked is telecommunications, healthcare, automobile, and retail. So I've just mentioned those. There could be many more. Okay. And the source and targets, okay, basically the data files could be flat files, Excel, it could be web pages information, it could be XML, could be anything. And then the databases that I have seen so far, I've worked is, administered SQL Server, but yeah, Oracle, Teradata, DBT, and Netezza, these are all databases basically. And then what else? Operating systems. So operating system is basically a program that acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware and controls all kind of programs. Let's say functions. The functions involved are memory management, processor management, device management, and file management. So what exactly are these? Memory and memory basically tracks of the it keeps a track on the primary memory, that is like used by whom and what part is particularly used and so on. And also in programming, the OS decides how much memory is allocated to this particular program or something, and as and when it goes. Okay, so every program runs at a particular scheduled time, and when that is done, based on the data, the OS also provides allocated memory, whichever is required. And then it also deallocates memory where it is not necessary. It needs to be terminated, right? Some places you just don't have to use. You just close a web page. Why should it actually allocate some memory over there? So those are the stuff that memory management does. What about processor management? It keeps tracks on the processor and the status of the program, or if it's in a killed status, or if it is completed status, or it could be anything. And also it allocates the it also allocates memory as well as deallocates the processor when a process is completed or is not required. Device management. This is actually keeps track of all devices, programs that control this task as the I/O control devices, and then how much time is required for this process of the device to be used. He allocates the device or allocates the device in such an efficient manner. So these are the stuff that device management does. File management, as the name says, it's all like it keeps track of the information, local or shared information of the files that are stored in the OS. Okay, and then it also you can actually restrict some people using it. Not everybody has access to all the files, right? For example, my team, we might have access to one particular folder, whereas the other team might not have it. So who restricts this or how it's done? It's all done by in the OS, and so you can put restrictions as in when a file is to be read or not, by this person or not. So and it's the same. It allocates the resources for the files and then deallocates the resources as well when you remove the files. Let's say cloud computing. That's the new thing, new hype that has been going on in the IT industry at the moment. And what exactly is it? It is actually, computing services, which include storage, databases, networking, software, and business intelligence over internet. That is the cloud, basically. Faster for flexible resources, and you scale your storage as and when you go on. So what exactly is that? Before, people had to buy hardwares, right? Just like how we have hardware in our laptops, every IT or a project or what do you call a business, they hold data somewhere, right, in the database, and it costs them some money. So it's actually expensive. So what the new trend that they've come up or people have come up is this cloud computing, where it's internet is used, where the data will be stored, databases, networking. So you don't have to buy them physically. For example, a company buys 1 terabyte of storage for one particular database, but it only uses about what do you say, quarter of the storage. Why do they need to purchase such an expensive database to just hold a little amount of data? Whereas if you go to a cloud, you just pay the company just pays only for the amount of storage that it's using. For example, it's using only 25% of so and so, then it only has to pay for 25%. So, and the networking software. So that's all being taken care by one of the giants, okay? The cloud computing services. And the major cloud computing services giants are Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and Amazon Web Services, alias AWS. And what is actually cloud computing? This is the architecture, okay? It's a simple architecture. There is actually some of the complex ones, but I've just put this for a simple architecture. So what happens from the web browser, it all gets stored into a cloud as internet. And then it is all, from there it is queried into application servers, and then from there the reports are generated. Okay, and learning platforms, let's say, okay, now that you've seen, okay, I've left out Unix. Okay, if you want to go into data mining, ETL or things, then I would suggest you guys not only learn ETL tools, it's essential for you guys to go into Unix as well, because job offers or any job for that matter, you start looking out for jobs, you're not just going to ask for one particular job or whatever. So they're going to keep going for, they're going to add a number of things, okay? So some of the essential ETL jobs that I've seen, they ask for something like Unix and any ETL tool, whichever that particular company uses. And then obviously you need to know SQL. So SQL, and you should have knowledge on how to use SQL in order to query stuff, and performance tuning and go on, so on. Okay. And if you want some of the learning platforms where you can go as a student, what do? We try to learn as much as we can, right? So this would be the right time because we all have enough time. So let play while you play, and and then work while you work. That's what I would say. So it's more like you have these are the four learning platforms that are widely used. GUI is something new that has come in India, but Udemy, Coursera, LinkedIn Learning is all like been pretty much there. And most of them actually provides you a certificate on completion of the courses. So it's like you could have as simple as like a 2-hour course or an 8-hour course. It depends on your what are the course that you take in. But the platform is wide enough for you to go in and explore and learn a lot of new things up there. So it holds a lot of courses. So I would say give them a try, and that would really help you in the long run. So these are the four that I have used, and those certificates do show you, give you an upper hand in while you try to bag a job. You have your profile in LinkedIn, and let's say that you have acquired some of the course completion certificate that shows the company that you are willing to learn, and when that's very much needed in the IT industry. So because nothing is what do you say? Nothing is stagnant over here. You have to keep learning to thrive and to thrive in an IT industry. So that's about it. Okay. And then the technologies in demand. What are the technologies currently in demand? You see, these slides are mainly meant for people who are in their third years or final years, because I just want to let them know the current trends so they can equip themselves in such technologies: data science, blockchain, artificial intelligence and machine learning, Internet of Things, cloud computing, cybersecurity. There are much more jobs that has come up, like full stack developer, and what else, and so on. But full stack developer, see, as a fresher, I would suggest you guys first get hands-on experiences in HTML, CSS, Java, and so on, and then go as a full stack developer, because the full stack developer is not just one thing, it's a combination of a lot of things. I mean, a lot of technologies or languages that you need to know. And and data science, as I say, that has intelligence, analytics. You need to know Python, Ruby, and Python, R, and so on. Okay, there are a lot of things involved in these technologies. These are just names. You could say that these are just high level names. When you actually explore deeper, you get to know what all falls into each of them. It's not one particular thing. So it's not like how we are in college. The outside world or the real-time experience is I would say it's mostly different from what we are in college. Uh, so, guys, please, explore yourself. This is the right time for you guys to explore if you want to go into IT industry and and succeed. And then, these are the most important or most in-demand programming languages like JavaScript, current trend. Okay, JavaScript, Python, HTML, CSS, Ruby, C Sharp, SQL. SQL, NoSQL, and all is needed for any database that you require. Those are the basics. And Java, Python are programming languages that are all, as you all know, it's all in demand right now. Python is actually booming quite well. And then, and yeah, so for the 2021, these are the most in-demand programming languages. And skills to crack interviews. Last, how do you crack interviews? One could be improve your communication skills, then your body language, and then punctuality, which is very essential. If you are going to be interviewed at 10:30, please be ready by 10:20. That actually shows the company that you are, you are ready for it. And willingness to learn. What is a willingness to learn? as I said, it is more like, when it comes, you can't just have every skill that is mentioned in the job description, right? And nobody or no hiring manager or nobody is going to expect you to have all the skills as well. So if you at least show them you have 70% of the skills, the rest 30 you're willing to learn, then yeah, you've already bagged the job. So that's how you face an interview. And obviously, presence of mind. Since I did not attend campus, I'm not pretty clear about that. But I mean, as a lateral, that is when I go in as a experienced person, a presence of mind is very important because you're not just they're not going to ask you some basic programming languages questions or things. They want to give you scenarios where you use your mind to analyze, and then you give them answers accordingly. And then let's say analytical skills again, and then professionalism. What is professionalism? The way you talk, the way you approach, the way everything. So most of them you can learn while you are in college, and you will be learning from the faculties, and yeah, that's about it. So these are the skills required to crack interviews, and that's about my presentation. So I'm done. Thank you. In case you guys have any questions, get back to me. Okay. I'm done. So let me stop. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Lakshmi.
Okay.
It's really an informative session for the students, really benefit session for students. Hopefully, when everything is normal, we'll be having you in presence in our campus to have another one hands-on session or another interaction with our students.
Sure,
Okay,
ma'am.
now
Sure.
over to
Yeah.
Nithya.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, students having few questions. Shall I post here, ma'am?
Yeah, please do.
So, business intelligence tools can help the organization or not? If it is yes, means what are all the procedures?
Obviously, it does help organizations, any business, as I said, for that matter. And when it helps the organization, it actually helps them to improve their profits. First thing. Second, it improves their customer satisfaction, and for them to understand, analyze, and make changes so that the business can improve. So any organization that you take would require BI tools to be involved. It could be called in different ways. Okay? It need not be just called BI, business intelligence. You could be you could just be I mean, what do you say? Data engineer, data analyst, data I mean, Cyril sir said there are multiple designations and multiple technology, but overall it's just called business intelligence because the intelligence used over here helps the business or the organization to grow. So that's why it is.
Thank you, ma'am. And one more question. What are all the experience as a fresher we we need to develop to become a business intelligence manager position?
Okay, as a fresher, you don't actually become a business intelligence manager, but you can equip yourself. It's not impossible, but for that to happen, you guys have to be really equipped with skills. Like you should know a lot. Okay, a manager role is not that easy because it's not something that you just learn a programming language and go on. You have to manage projects. So if you want to become a manager, I would suggest start learning through while you have time, start learning to improve how you can actually improve your leadership skills, and then improve your skill set. Basically, like learn a lot of technologies that can help you. For example, data science. If you take a data science, go into multiple programming languages, go into ETL, learn data mining, data integration, stuff like that, and all together you comprise and gives you, you equip yourself with all that, and then when you have, leadership skills along with it, there's a good chance you can apply for one. But our Indian market as such, actually, to say the truth, Indian market requires you to have an experience for a number of years in order to attain a manager position. Sad to say that, but yeah, Whereas in abroad, it's not the case. So you can directly back a job as a manager, even if you have, if you are very equipped. Here, they do have a little off and here and there. So yeah, there are little changes. So you need to equip yourself accordingly. So that's it.
Thank you, ma'am. And one more question. You for UG point of view, your BE degree is more than enough to become a business intelligence position.
Yeah, it is.
For master degree point of view, what are all the courses as the students need to prefer? One student asking this question.
Okay, so see, you can get into business intelligence while after you complete your UG. Some people learn even in their second years. They start their they start improving their skills on particular stuff based on it. So you could actually, go learn courses. As I said, I've provided some learning platforms. So I would say that go ahead, enrich yourself with skill sets, and then once you're ready after UG, it shouldn't be a problem backing a job when you have the required skill set. Nobody expects you to have a master's degree for a data engineer, a data analyst or a data engineer role. It is basically, if you have the skill set, you can go in. As far as people who are opting for pursuing masters like me, uh, I went into engineering and management because I did my information technology from N.G.R. and then I wanted to venture myself out into management. So I learned, I had a combination of both when I did. Whereas if you want to get into business intelligence stream, there are particular master's degrees on data science and what do you say? There are some business intelligence courses itself, and I would say data science or machine learning, artificial intelligence are some of the upcoming trends and really some of the good jobs that you can go up or opt for. And to pursue your master's also, yeah, some of those would really help. The curriculum has really changed a lot. You have a lot of various options to go and pick one for you, whichever stream you prefer. So yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. The entire session was very much useful.
Sure. Thank you. It
Now
was my
let me
pleasure.
call. Thank you, ma'am. Let me call Kameshwaran sir to deliver the vote of thanks.
Very good morning to one and all. Myself, Kameshwaran, Assistant Professor, Department of IT. It's a great honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks on this session. Let me first thank the Almighty God for making this event as a resounding success. Then I thank our today's speaker, alumni of our department, Mrs. Lakshmi Sindilvelan, who is a consultant of Vichisa Consulting Private Limited, for the great session on business intelligence and management. Thank you, ma'am, for your such a knowledgeable and enlightening session, which would surely brought amazing transformation to our students. It's my pleasure to thank our President, the Engineer A.C.S. Arun Kumar sir, who has been a great continuous support system and always encourage us to take steps forward and stay ahead. I also thank our Vice Chancellor, Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi, Registrar Dr. C.B. Palnivel, and Joint Registrar Dr. V. Cyril Raj, and Dean ENT Dr. S. Sendilvelan for their encouragement and support for all our efforts. My heartfelt thanks to our enthusiastic Head of Department, Dr.N.Kanya, and the program convener, Mrs. C. Tamilchelvi, and my colleagues who had worked hard to make this event as a successful milestone. Okay. My special thanks to our students who actively participated in this event. Once again, I thank you all for your great attention. Thank you, Nandor.
Thank you, sir. Now we will post our feedback link. The students are requested to update the feedback link. So you will receive the e-certificate very soon through your email.